This is the ViewFlex GoPro Gimbal, and while it does some things very, very well, the overall package that it creates isn't exactly the easiest to use gimbal ever. To start off, it's got some nice features. It's got a bright flashlight that you just operate by tapping the side button here. You can change its brightness. So if you were going to be shooting any sort of interview style videos using a gimbal and you're going to do them in some low light or some not ideal lighting situations, this thing could be really good because the interview light that you could use is built right in to the camera there. The other thing that's really nice is that unlike with many lights that when you turn them on and turn them off that are dimmable, they forget what their setting was at, this one automatically remembers whether it was at maximum brightness or whatever setting it was at. So when you turn it off and then turn it back on, it comes back at exactly the same brightness level. Then it's got one of the most ingenious systems I've seen for swapping from a HERO4 or a smaller form factor action camera to a larger form factor action camera like the HERO5. It's got a couple of different knobs that you can easily use. You don't need to change any mounting hardware or any mounting brackets. You just tighten up or loosen some bolts and then switch which hole the bolt goes into, and it's super easy to switch between a HERO5 and a HERO4 mount, although it is a little bit time consuming. It's not the fastest system, but once you get your camera into it, you should be able just to leave it there. Or, well, it would be nice if you were able just to leave it there. The problem with this gimbal is with the way the lens and the motor are oriented. With the lens of the camera over here and the tilt motor on this side of the camera, it means that the power button for the HERO5 or the Wi-Fi mode setting button on a HERO4 is blocked by the mounting bracket, which means that you actually have no way of hitting the power button or the mode button on the HERO5, which means that you actually have to take the camera out of the gimbal every time you want to change a setting or power the camera on and off. You're basically left only being able to use video mode and only being able to use the one button mode on the camera to turn the camera off, start and stop recording, which is, well, it's kind of a fail. And you can't just spin the camera around and mount it the other way because of that massive light. So the interview light, as I'm going to call here, that light that's on the front of the gimbal blocks the front-facing LCD screen, which isn't a huge deal because most of the information on that can be displayed on the LCD screen on the back, but it also stops you from ever even trying to flip the camera over or flip the gimbal over so that the lens sits here and then the mode button would be on this side. So that was my biggest frustration with using this, was just the positioning of that button. And I'm sure that it's something that they couldn't have really foreseen when they were doing this because with the HERO4s, that side button's not that important. Sure, it's a quick access to menu button, but you don't need access to it in order to fully operate the camera or even turn the camera off and on. But having said that, even if you put a HERO4 on top of here, you're still blocking the power button with this light. So you can't even turn the camera on and off with the HERO4. So the light is cool and the light does have its benefits. Like I say, if you're going to be shooting interviews in low light, this light could be good. But the drawback of putting that light there on the front of the camera is the fact that you can't access the power buttons on the HERO4 or on the HERO5. So that's probably enough of a rant about that. Other things the gimbal does which are kind of cool is it's got a bunch of different mounting holes, or quarter by 20 mounting holes. So it's got, those are standard tripod mounting holes. It's got two of them up here on the barrel of the gimbal just below the pan motor. And those could be awesome if you're trying to mount this onto some kind of vehicle or some kind of mount, because you can just put a tripod mount to GoPro adapter on there, and you can put it on top of a suction cup if you want to mount it on the hood of a car or anything like that. So there's lots of flexibility in those mounting holes, and that's really cool to see. I would love to see more handheld gimbals like this include mounting holes, because being able to mount these things onto objects is cool. And these the tripod mounts on this, the quarter by 20 inch holes on this, are just so out of the way, and they're not bothersome in any way until you need them, and then they're really, really handy. It's also got another tripod mounting hole on the bottom of the handle. The gimbal has 3 different modes. The first, it locks the roll motor and the tilt motor so that the tilt of the camera is just perfectly facing straight forwards, and then whatever you do, wherever you point the camera, it will dampen that movement but pan there eventually. So this is really easy if you're just going to be following someone and you want the camera always level. The second mode, it unlocks that tilt motor so that it'll dampen both the panning motion and the tilt motion you put into it while keeping the roll stabilized. This is a really great one if you want to be able to get a top-down shot or a low-angle shot facing up. Wherever you point the gimbal and however you point it, the camera will follow to that area or that direction. And then finally, the third mode is fully locked off, so it'll just pick a target and it'll stay there regardless of how you spin the handle or wherever you pan the handle to. It'll just stay pointing in that one direction until you point it somewhere new using the joystick. So the handle has a built-in joystick which you can use to aim the camera wherever you would like to point the camera, and it makes repositioning the camera very, very easy. So the pan motor on the ViewFlex features unlimited rotation, while the roll and the tilt motor feature limited rotation, so they can't spin forever. Their rotation is limited. To charge the ViewFlex, you unscrew the bottom cap off of the gimbal handle, and there's 2 small 900 milliamp hour lithium-ion batteries in there that you put onto the included charger. Since using the Feiyutech WG2, I am a bigger fan of gimbals which have internal batteries that I can charge with a USB plug than I am of having to take the batteries out to charge them, but that's just splitting hairs and a little nitpicky complaint. The biggest problem with this gimbal is the fact you cannot access half of the GoPro camera controls while the camera is mounted. And it's not like it's a mode button, it's like it's the power button. I would look at other gimbals. Honestly, unless you really want that super bright light on the front of the camera and you're willing to put up with having to unmount the camera every time you want to power it on or power it off, or if you're just willing to use one button mode because you really, really want that light for whatever low light interviews or something like that, then maybe you would look at this. But if it's just for run and gun shooting to get yourself up and running with a gimbal for your GoPro camera, I would, for the price of this, I'd be looking at probably the GoPro Karma Grip instead. Guys, this was another video. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your thoughts on it down below. What do you think about this? Why would they have chosen to cover up the LCD screen, the buttons, and everything in for that light? Maybe there's a use case that I'm missing. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. If you've got any other thoughts, you can leave them down there. But most of all, until next time, thank you very, very much for watching.